Well, if I didn't know better, I'd say Germsy was going a little gray there on top. Getting a little white into his beard. You're getting old, Germsy. You're getting old. Well, good afternoon, boys and girls. It is your friendly neighborhood Decidedly Vanilla BJW. Welcome to another episode here on Decidedly Vanilla. And we're starting off today's episode with... I'm wrecking Germsy's face here. He built his head here in my base to announce the arrival of his new shop, and it's time for me to take it down just so I don't have it staring over me while I'm trying to get work done, even though I'm not doing a whole lot of work here right now, but probably not a bad idea to just take it down. Sorry, Germsy. In fact, what I'll probably do is I'll take all this wood and bring it back over to your shop. That way I'm not using it all. I appreciate it for sure, but although... I don't know that necessarily improved my view here. He is a pretty handsome Minecraft fella. Last episode, we talked about doing a fair amount of work. I'm going to get away from the portal because it's loud. But we talked about doing work over at my new base. And I haven't named the new base yet. I need to do that. And I don't think I've told you guys this yet, but this is the town of Grimsby Landing is our little medieval village here. The reason I named it Landing was because, of course, right up there is the ship that we all crash landed onto our new planet here. At the beginning of Season 4, and I had to name as my town, so I named it Gramsby, and then I put Landing because I thought that'd be kind of nice. Anyway, but I do have to name my other village. I'll do that maybe later in the episode if I get to what I had intended to get to begin with, but the first thing I need to do, we got a new little gift here from... I'm going to take this over here so I don't have to be quite so loud with the portal in the background there. We got a little gift from SEUS. So happy holidays. It is after Christmas. It's New Year's here in a couple days. So hope you all had a wonderful Christmas. Had a pretty quiet one myself. Usually we travel, it seems like. But this year we got to stay home and had some relatives come to us, which was nice. So I've had a week off of work, which I can't complain about. Hey there, buddy. A librarian. How did you get out? Oh, Curse of Binding. I have a feeling that Whip let you out and then let you free because you had Curse of Binding. Although I might see if you have... some better trades. So I might come back and protect you here in just a minute. But first, I need to read this. You want to read it with me? Here, just don't read over my shoulder, okay? But here. Merry Christmas, says SEUS. Carl the Christmas Cactus has a gift for you. Head on over to SEUS's Ragin Shahar to collect your present. There's a rail station line to it in the train station. Oh, that's it. So page 1 of 1. So SEUS left us a Christmas present, but we have to go over to Carl to get it. I think maybe we'll do that. But here's the key about this. So, does it say it on here? Happy holidays. So here's the thing. I've seen other people do this, and I know what SEUS's present is. It was nice, and oddly enough, somebody gave me his present on either on purpose or an accident. I'll show you that. I'll share that with you later. But happy holidays. So he gave us some diamonds to go spend in his dye shop. Well, if I haven't said it out loud yet, which I don't think I have on an episode, me and a couple of the server members are not really happy with his rather heavy-handed tactics on cornering the dye market here on Decidedly Vanilla. For example, he ran around to everyone who had something that was dye-related, and then he locked up all the chests that had dye in them. So, like, I have bone meal up in my Sky Mob farm over there, and he put a bunch of trapdoors on it and said that we have to give him all of our stuff. So... we got together and decided that wasn't okay. So we created the Free Dye Society and have a shop that needs to be built over by his shop. And the intent is that we do that for free. I don't know if we're going to do that yet or not. We still have to decide. But because of that, my next project today is not going to be over at the base, over my new base, which I said it was going to be, but I've changed my mind. I got to find my way over here. I think it's over here a little bit further. I created a walkway over to it, but I don't know where it's at. Oh, wait, here it is. Wait there. I was just going to fly over, but it's pretty close by. So I have a new project today that I've been working on in Creative World to make sure that it works right. And I don't think I've seen anybody do it quite the way that I'm planning on doing it. So I hope it's a new approach on a flower farm, an auto flower farm. And it is truly 100% automatic. I just have to stand near here so that it's loaded in while it's running. But I'm going to build this today with you guys really quick. It's got pretty simple redstone to it. And let me know in the comments if you guys like the way that this works, and if you want to see me do an actual proper tutorial on it. I'm more than happy to do that. It's pretty simple. It wouldn't take very long. And the nice thing about it is that it's stackable. I could actually do this farm in trays and stack it up into the sky and get a tremendous amount of dye out of it. But I don't think I'm necessarily going to do that because I don't think I need that much on this server. But anyway, I think this is a great idea because now I have a source for dye to help put the Dye King out of business, which is my goal. Is to put him out of business. Well, maybe not put him out of business, but at least maybe make him a little bit less cruel to everybody on the server in terms of monopolizing our dye. So let me gather some materials. I've got some pulled together. I got to get a little bit more, and then we'll come back and start work on our new flower farm. Alrighty, I got a fair bit of work done. Most of it's cosmetic for this at this point. I got some of the foundation laid in for us to do all the redstone together. But yeah, just a beginning point here on the facade. I got the storage part of it set up inside, which is pretty easy and straightforward. And then I don't know how high this is going to go just yet until I finish this first tray, see what kind of yield I'm getting out of it. If I build a couple more trays above it, then I can extend the structure up. But so then I can finish the roof off at some point, but not right now. Let's start with this. And man, this cold is lingering. Hang on for a second here. I got a cough. Dang, man. This thing has been... I've had this now for a little over a week, and it's just lingering. It just won't quite go away. But anyway. So as we mentioned in the last little bit there, this is 8 on the inside clear, so 7 blocks of grass. And then our row of hoppers here, and then 12 blocks wide on the inside. So it's 14 if you include the outside rails to hold all the water in. I am using hoppers right here. You could actually use ice with water streams if you dropped it down a block. If you wanted to on this one, if say you're earlier in the world and you need to dye or something like that, there's some other ways to do that. But here we have dispensers. In fact, let's go ahead and fill these up with our water buckets now. Even though I don't have the redstone in beneath it yet, it doesn't matter. And then here, it's interesting the way that the dispensers work. If you shoot dispensers up into the bottom of a grass block with bone meal in them, which is what we're going to put in these, it will still bone meal the surface like you're doing it up on the surface. So if I remember right, it said it did it in a 15 by 15 pattern, or box is the biggest that a single bone meal could possibly grow in terms of dimensions, but that 90% of it's within a 4x4 or something along those lines. So that's why I have this set up the way that I do. In fact, let's see, looks like I actually removed, I need a piece of come off this, there we go, and then we put down a dispenser here so it's facing up, and then you cover these guys. Let's get 2 of these with grass blocks, and when those shoots bone meal up, it'll actually bone meal this entire area. And the reason I have 2 side by side is so that I could get better coverage over this whole tray, and it works really well. You know, you're not going to get a lot in the corners, and that's one of the reasons that I put the observer block here, is that you're not going to get a lot in this corner. So I don't feel like I'm missing out a lot by taking one out and putting in an observer block. And so the way that this works is this is the off condition. So I have a block here, and that turns this system off. And when I break that block, it sends a signal down, and it starts the water cycle. And then this releases water out, and as it spreads, it covers this up, and the observer block recognizes that, sends a signal, turns it back off, and then when the water turns off on this, it sends another signal. And that's how this works as an automatic, is that this just basically, as the water cycles over it turns it off, and then as it clears off, it turns it back on again. Oh man, sorry, it continues to do that. And then in between, as it's turned off, it bone meals this area, and it works really well, and it's actually pretty quick. I haven't bothered to measure how many you can get out of it, but it works pretty well. So let's start off and do let's go ahead and put our redstone torches down here. And so the idea here is we're putting redstone torches down below these guys, which means this is going to turn this on with water in them. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and take these out, even though I just put those in, until I get the redstone torches on. Click, click, and then I'll put the water back in. Like so, such and so forth. And this is actually really easy to extend up another tray. All you have to do is actually have a little redstone torch tower on one side and kind of repeat this pattern down below it that I'm putting in here, and it actually fits within the area above the next tray up, so that you still have one clear underneath to grow all the grass. And so it actually works surprisingly well. I'm pretty proud of this particular design. I'm not going to say it's necessarily 100% original, but I don't think I've seen anybody... Did I do that? Yeah, I got it in there right. Yeah, okay. I don't know that I've seen anybody using observer blocks in this way for this particular kind of a situation, but I could be totally wrong. Actually, you know what? I'm missing a piece of redstone there. So let's take care of this now. We need to put in our comparators. And so this is the one. This is the what's sending the signal to do the bone meal. And unfortunately, I've been thinking about different ways I might be able to automatically fill these with chests from down below or some other things like that. And there may be some sneaky ways to do it. I'm not sure yet. You know, I've been thinking of some different ways, and maybe from below with like a dropper tower or something that could shoot up into this. That I could have a couple of double chests below full of bone meal that automatically would fill these. And I may see if I can do that later on. But for right now, this is the basic, the very basic version of this farm. And I do need these guys here. And then I need to put down redstone to connect. These are all the torch towers that go to, of course, the dispensers for the water release. The nice thing is this doesn't require any sort of unique timing or anything like that. It just works, which is sort of nice. Oh, that's right. I need a not a comparator. What is it called? All of a sudden I'm drawing a blank. Not a comparator. What is it? It's a repeater. All right. So I need a repeater after this guy. So this is the signal that's coming from the observer block, and the reason I need a repeater right here, right there, like that, and with one tick on it, is that the signal that this thing sends out is so quick that unless you have a repeater on it to pick it up, it doesn't really grab it, and then this repeater sort of picks up that signal and then extends it and lengthens it just a little bit, which helps all of these turn off and on really quick, which is what we need, because we need a quick pulse on that signal, and that's what this signal does, is it sends a pulse on and then off, and this lengthens it just enough that the redstone torches it'll do the on-off like a button normally does, and that'll make it work. So then the next thing we need to do, I need another observer, I'll need my piston, I need some redstone. I don't need that guy. I will need one of these blocks. There we go. So now what I need to do is I need to extend the signal off of here that's going to activate the dispensers with the bone meal in them. So I need to make sure I have this lined up right. I need to be off this one. There we go. Oh, it's getting a little too close. I wonder if I can do this with a jump. This is going to be too hard to do. Can you do it? There we go. There. And that'll be reading the redstone signal as it comes through. And then once it grabs that, we put this on here and that there. And what this does is this is that, excuse me again, the short pulse off of this will extend the piston fast enough that it'll send it out and back, and it'll leave this block here, which means this will have a constant signal to it while that one turns off. And this works so that only bone meals while the water is clear of the tray. And then we have to adjust the timing a little bit once we get it going. And then it will pull it back and turn it off, but it doesn't dispense bone meal again when the water is in the tray. So the idea is this actually makes the dispensing of bone meal much more efficient. Like you can stand up there and spam it. Some people will do that. You'll see it where they're spamming the bone meal with water cycling through it. And you end up wasting bone meal because you actually spam it twice or something like that. And this solves that problem. So is that everything? I think I have it all working now. Everything I think seems to be there, so we should be able to go up and have activate it now by putting a block on here. Let's get this guy. We're going to take that off. Yeah, you got to play with the timing a little bit sometimes to get it to work quite right. There we go. And so right now it's trying to Alright, it's not working just yet. Why is that not working? You know, this may need to be over here. I can't remember 100% off the top of my head. Okay, I do know. That should turn it off. Alright. So the first thing we're going to do is let's go check our redstone here and see where it is. Okay, so let's reset this guy. Oh, you know what, that actually I think I might leave it there. Let's leave that there for just a second, and then we'll go up here. The timing isn't quite working right. I'm not sure why. Let's go ahead and take this off really quick. I think I might have this in the wrong spot. That might be part of the problem. Yep, I was right. I put the observer block in the wrong location. I had it lined up with this dispenser, and it needed to be 1 over because when that dispenser puts that water out, it'll send it all the way 8 blocks, which will cover this up. But if you're 1 block over on that dispenser, it'll only go 7 blocks. And so when I had the observer here, it was activating 4 times because it would have water go over it, and then there would be a second depth on it, and then when it retreated, each of those states triggered the observer block, and so it was getting basically 4 activations. Whereas here, the water will only extend to that block, and so when it covers it once, that activates it, and when it uncovers it, that deactivates it. And once I did that, it worked just fine. So let's take this off, and I'll show you how this works. So that shuts off, and now that tick will send it up, and it will go ahead and bone meal everything. And I think we'll see if it does it this time. I think this one won't quite make it. Oh, yeah. Sometimes it'll leave them sitting out here, but don't worry about that. It doesn't need to completely flush it every time. Yep, it's like that one is sitting there, but it'll get caught on the next one, so it works just fine. And sometimes also this will, the stuff will pop off right on the edge, and it'll jump up onto here. So you probably want to make sure and add a second block higher all the way around it, just to make sure it captures everything inside of it. And I'll do that in a minute, but right now, oh no, I just fell down here. I don't have another block to put in there. Let's do this really quick. I'm such a numbskull. Let's get back up here. So I wanted to show you up here. Yeah, so put 2 blocks high all the way around. I'll do that in a minute. I've done a little bit more decorations. I put a kind of a hidden switch right here so that I could activate this door, and this will close up. It's got a couple of sticky pistons behind it. But here I wanted you to be able to see this and show it what this was doing. So this is activating just fast enough it leaves that block there, which is pretty a common feature of a piston that only has a very short tick pulse on it. And I did double check. I went to 1.13 to make sure that this would continue to work, because I had heard rumors that this might stop working. So it's possible on 13 or 14 this behavior could be broken. I hope it's not. If it is, well, I'll have to repair this somehow, but this is a feature of pistons we've had for a long time, so I hope they don't break it. But otherwise, it's pretty much exactly the same under here that we talked about last time. I did move this over 1 block because it was here's where the observer was. So if you had seen that and we're trying to line it up with this, it doesn't work. It needs to be 1 over and lined up right there. So yeah, there you go. Works pretty well now. I'll show you. This has got a little bit more into it now from this point. So, but this was all right here. I ran this for 20 minutes, and this was the output that I've got. With the exception of I took all the seeds out because I actually had 4 stacks of seeds. And just to be clear too, this isn't just this platform. I did build another one that I'm not going to show on camera, just in case SEUS decides to come and start destroying my. He would never grief me, but he would do something to block this. So I hid the other one. I didn't really hide it. This is one of the features of the flower farms. Unless you can find the right location that has all the flowers in it, which is really hard to do. I think it's pretty rare. You might have to build 2 farms to get all the colors that you can get out of a flower forest behind them. So, like this one, I could only get the orange and the red and the white tulips. And I wasn't getting very much white tulips, and so I went and found another location that had the allium for the magenta, had another red source, and had another white source. And that way, I get a little bit better balance. I can actually stand in one location, and both of them run just fine. But yeah, about 20 minutes, I was able to get at least 2 full stacks of flowers from each location, which was equivalent to about 12 stacks of bone meal. So about half a chest, not too much. So those individual dispensers each hold 9 each. I think I calculated I could stand here for with the dispensers and the 2 hoppers for each one. It was about like an hour and a half or so. Would allow me to completely use up all that bone meal and have these running. So about an hour and a half would deplete all the bone meal, and I probably would get close to 2 chests or 2 double chests of flowers. So yeah, way more than I need for this server overall, but why not build ridiculous things when you possibly can? So I think we're probably at close to time. So before we end this episode, let's go over to SEUS's base, and we're going to get our little present that he left for us, and maybe even go over to his dye shop and go ahead and support him, because even though the reality is it's kind of fun to give him a little bit of grief and to create something that gives his business a little bit of a run for its money, so to speak. I still support the guy, and we need to go take care of that business. So let's head over to his base. All right, here we go to SEUS's base. So this is over at Carl the Cactus, who I think Whip built Carl originally. Oh, geez. What? What is this? Oh, I know who did this. Man, I probably shouldn't be showing this. This is, ow. I might block this briefly for a second while I come through and just leave the audio. Because I don't want to give that away. Oh, that's right. Yep, I think I'm going to block this just for a second with something else interesting in the video. Okay, here we go. Now we're out. So I don't want to show... Somebody pranked his base, and I don't want to give it away. Because it's pretty good. So there's Carl the Cactus, and here's our gift from Circinator. Yep, we got a little die vouchers for his die shop, and of course I had to show you Carl as well. So I think what I'm going to do is, rather than go back through that that portal and give away the... Can I go through here? Yeah, let's go through here. I don't know where this is going to take me yet, but I didn't want to show that prank until SEUS sees it. So, because I joked last episode he doesn't watch my episodes, and he does, at least some anyway, so I won't give him too much grief about it. But let's head over to... Oh, come on. There you go. Oh, and by the way, Happy New Year. It is going to be New Year's. It is actually New Year's Eve now. It took a couple days to come back and finish this episode, actually, from my when I started it, but that's okay. I think next year, one of my goals on this channel actually is to get it much more active. This previous year, I had a lot of stuff going on, so I'm not going to say it died, but it certainly slowed down considerably. And then I started the vlog channel, which really right now only has one video on it. But that's more or less because I've been continuing to work on quality and doing some other things with it. And I've actually shot some other episodes. I just haven't posted them because I'm not happy with the quality of it just yet. I'm continuing to work on it. But that video did just cross 5,000 views with one video, which is pretty amazing, all things considered. But this channel, I want to set some goals. Right now I'm at 379 subs, I think. And this video, I've had this channel for a couple of years now. And it's gone through spurts. I'll post really frequently for a while, and subs will grow. The last kind of batch that I had in terms of videos and being pretty consistent, I think I added 100 subs to the channel pretty quickly. So I think one of my goals this year is to be much more consistent and really try and start producing more videos. I kind of questioned myself a lot last year with all the stuff that was going on, Apocalypse, and whether or not it was worth it. And what I realized is that I just enjoy doing this. It's a lot of fun. It's a bit of a hobby. It's not something that's ever going to be making money on it. And so I think I'm going to go ahead and just start producing more content, and I'm going to demonetize my videos and not worry about it. That way you don't have to sit through ads on my videos because it's not necessary if I'm not going to make any money on it and I'm just doing it for fun. So why should I make you guys sit through it? So hopefully that's enough that if you're watching this video and you have not subscribed or left a thumbs up or comments or anything like that, please do. I'm going to stop monetizing videos. I'm not going to go back and demonetize everything previously, but I'm going to stop doing that and just make some content. So anyway, I appreciate it very much if you would consider that. So payment chest, let's go here. We got to pay our 2 diamond voucher here, and then I can get a couple of things. Let's see, what do I need here? If I'm going to use SEUS's generosity against him, how best to do that? I think this is the best way to do it right here. Somebody wasn't paying attention. So if I take cocoa beans, so I can start my own cocoa bean farm, that's a good start. Everything else I think is just a straight up dye. I've already got an ink sac farm, so I've got that taken care of. All these are straight dyes. I've already got a good bone meal farm. That's cactus. So I have to do something else about that one. And actually, one of my compatriots already has perhaps a source for that. Ooh, lapis is going to be the only one I'm going to have to mine, which is the same problem that TheSirhc has. So, yep, I think everything else is going to come from a flower. So let's just take 2 stacks of cocoa beans, and then that way it'll make my my new dye shop over here more active more quickly. So what I got to do the next episode is I have to go find a good jungle to get the source of jungle wood so I can grow my cocoa beans, and then we'll put that. We're going to create a crazy farm for that too. Let's do that. Let's not make it just a simple one. Let's make it complicated and overdone, and we'll put it over at the new base. And I promise, like last episode, I said I will be doing a time lapse for my new building over there. First part of next episode is going to be that we're going to build a new house over there, and maybe second part we'll work on the cocoa bean farm. So we have our last source really of what we need for to open our dye shop over here. So I think that's it for this episode. Went pretty well, I think. I hope you guys enjoyed the flower farm. And again, if you think it's worthwhile creating a proper tutorial for that, let me know. Otherwise, leave a like, maybe subscribe. I'd very much appreciate it. And we will see you guys in the next episode here on Decidedly Vanilla. Thank you all very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.